Hello and welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast, a weekend video for us with no weekend fixture, but we played Cardiff on Friday night and we won, didn't we, John? Of course we did. So we can all smile and be happy. No, surely. Come on, please. We're going to talk purely Champions League today. We're not going to talk about Palace or Cardiff or whatever's happened, because as of we record this, we don't know. Obviously, Villa in action against Brugge in the away leg on Tuesday and the return leg at Villa Park the following Wednesday. And we thought that was a good opportunity to look at the wider competition, as much as kind of Villa's chances and aspirations and whatnot. This is our predictions for the Champions League campaign, the rest of it, not just for Villa, but the entire competition.
It was such a sad life sometimes. Sometimes the last thing that I'll do at night is check the Premier League table, or previously it would be the Champions League, just to see. I did it after Palace, and I thought, very tight. No,
I don't know why you did it then.
No, it's just nice to see where you are and what can happen. So with the Champions League, it's good to kind of, I don't know, I like to look at what other clubs are doing, because, for example, I've taken a bit of an interest to what Lille are doing since we beat them, and I've always liked some of their players and stuff. So just in terms of a European football sort of aspect, I do like to see, like, even like Europa League stuff. I'm being invested in what's happening in that tournament as well. Like Bilbao have a tricky game, and I think they'll probably win the competition, but I think they've got Roma. So yeah, like just kind of snippets here and there I like to keep an eye on.
First up then, first game is Villa, Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. The first leg is the 5:45 kickoff on Tuesday. The rest are 8 p.m. games on the Tuesday. I suspect we're both going to back Villa to win here. Obviously, we're talking about these over two legs rather than the specific game on the Tuesday night, who will progress in each of these rounds. Yeah. I'm backing Villa to get through. I think Club Brugge is not an easy draw by any stretch of the imagination, but if this was Real Madrid over two legs in the first opportunity to be knocked out, problem. If it's Inter Milan, problem. If it's Bruges, potentially a problem. But you know what I mean? It's on the easier side of the teams that you can play.
Yeah, I think over two legs, that's what makes it more likely for me. I said before that I don't think this is a easier game than playing Dortmund, though. I genuinely don't. I don't even look at the first game and say, oh yeah, but we lost that, so therefore it's going to be hard. That isn't really my thinking. It's what they did to Atalanta, and the fact they made it through in general, and they've got a couple of dynamic attackers. Is it Jutgla? It's just a well-drilled side, and he's done a good job, the manager. They've obviously went on that really long and beaten run as well, then lost to City. So, yeah, it's going to be a difficult game, and I actually think they played very well against us at home anyway. We didn't really show up. So, yeah, I think over two legs will be okay because of the second legs at home as well. That's a big help in hand.
This will mean nothing to the audio listeners, but I cannot believe how much that flag is moving over your shoulder.
I know.
It's a real distraction.
I was going to say, I haven't got a fan or anything to make it look better. Genuinely, I don't know what the movement is. I'm not moving.
It's like all the time, constantly. You might have to move it because it's genuinely annoying me. All right, okay, let's move on then. Let's wrap through some of these fixtures. This will get easier the further we go into the competition, of course. Up next, Madrid derby. Real Madrid, Atletico.
I thought you meant Madrid against Derby then.
Who's going to progress, John?
Oh, well, I think this is about as difficult of a game that over two legs as well that Real Madrid could have kind of dreaded, really. So I'm very close to saying Atletico. I'm going to say Real Madrid because they have a bit of a luster in this competition, and naturally going to be one of the favourites to win it. So I'll say Real Madrid. I guess we can say a good draw for Villa because this is obviously our bracket. If we were to progress and then progress again, then who would you rather play, Atletico or Real Madrid? I mean, some would probably say Real Madrid just to get the Bernabeu. But I think if you are in that, well, oh my God, would that be the semi-final?
Semis, yeah.
Jesus, you would probably take Atletico. You know what? I don't know. I think you would. I think you would take Atletico just because, as I say, there's something about Real Madrid in this competition which just creates.
Can you see us breaking down Simeone's low block Atletico?
No, I didn't circle it, but no, we'd see. I think we probably compete better against Atletico potentially.
I agree with everything you said. I've also gone Real Madrid to progress. I think if this was a one-off game, I'm not saying probably go, let's go like, oh yeah, because they could win anything. But I feel like the two-leggy thing, Real Madrid in this competition, they just find ways to win the entire thing, never mind one-off matches. So I can't see past them over two legs, but it will be close, I think.
And at the time in which we record this, I'm pretty certain they're all locked on the same points. The top three in the La Liga.
It's very close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like neck and neck. So Atletico went on an incredible run of form after a bit of a rocky start to the season, I think. So yeah, will be an interesting one.
We'll keep these in the order of the games that happen. So these are still Tuesday nights. We've got PSV and Arsenal up next. 3 English teams still being in at the next stage, when it's down to the last 8, kind of feels a little bit like, is that going to happen? Will all 3 go through? And I'm not saying Villa are going to go out, because how could I? So I do wonder, is there going to be one of these sides that goes out just for the kind of law of averages? But again, if you're looking through the potential opponents in this competition at this stage, Arsenal will fancy PSV over 2 legs. So I've gone Arsenal to progress here.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. I mean, fair play for PSV to go in this far. They do have some good players. Tillman is similar in a way to Morgan Rogers, but yeah, I think Arsenal over 2 legs would get the job done there.
Yeah. Final game on the Tuesday night is Dortmund-Lille, the other side of the bracket, if you like, where we could have finished if we finished 7th. We would be facing Dortmund. You think Dortmund is as difficult as Bruges, and a bit of a toss-up of which game would be more difficult for Villa?
Difficult for different reasons. Difficult because you'd be going to Dortmund and they have pedigree in this competition, obviously, but also they're not a brilliant side this season. In the Bundesliga, they're mid-table pretty much. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Lille for this one over 2 legs. I think Lille will advance past Dortmund.
Well, we haven't prepared this because we wanted to hopefully be different. I also went Lille.
Okay.
Just as one, I think one side will slip up that you would traditionally have Dortmund as the favourites, as the more European experience at this level. Obviously, finalists last year. I think over 2 legs, it's easy to say like the game at Dortmund will be ferocious and the atmosphere and whatnot, but that's the first leg. And I just fancy, potentially our Europa Conference League compatriots of last season, maybe they can go far in the Champions League as well. So I also went Lille, which I thought me going Lille might be one of the differentials in this thing, but so far we've put all 4 sides through exactly the same.
We do. They've got a lot of quality, and to nearly come inside that top 8 as well with Villa is testament to the job that their manager's done after Fonseca left as well.
This is a bit of a toss-up for me. Like, if Dortmund did go through, I wouldn't consider that like a surprise. Whereas if PSV did go through past Arsenal, that would be a shock.
Yeah, that's
I think
shock.
Lille or Dortmund is like, you could toss a coin, and I think most people would fall
quite
on.
Level, yeah.
50-50 pretty much. On to the Wednesday then, the other fixtures. First up, we'll do Feyenoord Inter. That's the 4:45 game on the Wednesday. I'll start here, again, based off very little knowledge beside the fact that Inter don't concede goals in the Champions League. Again, a relatively easier draw compared to that some have, I think. So I've got Inter to go through here.
Yeah, totally agree. Inter, a very well drilled side. Inter for me.
Now we can move on at pace. PSG Liverpool. The winners of will play the winners of Bruges or Villa. Hopefully Villa, obviously, as we've already put them through to the quarters in this scenario. Everything points to Liverpool as one of the best sides in the world at the moment, by default of being the best side in the Premier League, and they top the Champions League group stage, league phase.
Yeah.
But PSG is tough. Like, it is one of those fixtures that you wouldn't expect Liverpool to have gotten the way that the format works. If you finish higher up, you should be playing somebody not as good. That's because PSG didn't finish in a strong position in the league phase. So of the top 8 sides, Liverpool have got one of the hardest draws, and they finished the highest in the league phase. So, the format's kind of thrown up a bit of a curveball early doors. I have picked an answer for this, and I've made a graphic and everything, so I feel like I can't change it, but I'm kind of sitting on the fence a little bit. I'll let you go first.
I'm saying Liverpool just because the second leg's at home for them.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge advantage for them specifically. PSG could do it, and I hope they do, because I think it would be, on paper at least, an easier 2 legs to play in the quarterfinal. So I'm, PSG supporter for those games, but I just think Liverpool would have enough at Anfield. They could lose that game against PSG by 2 goals, and I'd still think that they'd go through. So a difficult game, and one that Liverpool wouldn't want, but at the same time, potentially that would get the best out of them as well. So I will say Liverpool to go through.
Yeah, on the graphic that I've already made, I also went Liverpool. But again, so far we've picked exactly the same size. So I'm tempted to go PSG just for the sake of difference. No, I'll stick with Liverpool. I'll stick with Liverpool for now. The German side will go through, and one will go out with Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen. That's another tasty fixture, isn't it? A good side is going out there. I've gone with Bayern, and I was very tempted to go Leverkusen, but I think Bayern will just find a way to win in this competition. Not necessarily all the way, but I think I can see them getting to the quarterfinal on their side of the bracket. So I sense you might have gone Leverkusen.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've gone Leverkusen. Really, there's not a whole lot much to it. I don't watch Bundesliga football, but I do know that Bayern haven't been particularly impressive in the Champions League. They got battered by Feyenoord. They obviously lost to us, and they just
we beat them. How bad must they be?
They're just about to scrape through Celtic as well, didn't they, to actually get through?
Yeah. But I feel like they could just turn it on though.
I don't think Leverkusen is the game that they'd want though, because they've played them, so many times in the past couple of seasons, and they drew, I think, 0-0 in the last game. So I think it's going to be tight, but equal. I think the pressure that Kompany's under to get them to the final and obviously win it from there on, because it's at the Allianz Arena. I think that pressure is going to do funny things to them. So I think Leverkusen have a good chance going through.
Benfica Barcelona is the last game of the round of 16. And again, I think it's pretty, I don't want to say one-sided affair that I'm expecting Barcelona to run away with it, but Barcelona will be the favourites for the game, and I've got them going through.
Yeah, I watched some Benfica this season. I watched a bit of Portuguese football, and they're not particularly impressive, Benfica. Neither are Sporting at the moment, and Porto certainly aren't. So, yeah, Barcelona are definitely the favourites for that game. They're managed by Bruno Lage, Benfica, so they've improved a little bit after sacking I think it was a German manager there before, Roger Schmidt. But yeah, Barcelona, one of the favourites of the competition. I think they'll be fine. Yeah.
Round of 16 then, we've got Villa, Real Madrid, Arsenal and Lille, Inter, Liverpool. You went Leverkusen, I went Munich, and Barcelona are going through to the quarterfinals. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting and hopefully different. I need to get the bracket just to make sure we're talking about the same ones. Quarterfinal time then. Now, these aren't in order of which game kicks off first. I haven't thought that far ahead, but we've got quarterfinal, Arsenal, Real Madrid.
I would say Madrid on this one. I think they'd quite comfortably. Beat Arsenal, to be honest. Again,
that's an easier game than Atletico.
Yeah, for sure. Arsenal don't have much firepower, and Real Madrid can definitely score more goals than them. And I'd back them for sure over 2 legs against Arsenal.
Yeah, completely agree. There's no doubt in my mind that was the bracket. If this was like we were doing a fictional draw and it was a random unseeded thing for the quarters and it threw up a different result, then maybe Arsenal have got a different chance. But knowing that's the bracket, if Arsenal play Atletico or Real Madrid, I don't fancy them to get through. Either way, I had Arsenal going out at this stage.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Next up, the quarterfinal, Liverpool versus Villa. The one that we didn't want because we wanted the new camp and all that kind of stuff. In my almost, it would be PSG Villa. I don't know whether this will be unpopular or not because quarterfinal in the Champions League, but I've got us losing this game. I wouldn't have us beating Liverpool.
I'm not saying this to be different. Genuinely, I'm not. I do think we'd have a real chance.
Well, I think we'd have a chance, but I don't think we'll actually go through. I've not seen enough over recent weeks to suggest it.
We have in the Champions League, though, haven't we?
Yeah, but
I don't know how
much weight that carries through.
I just think the second leg at home, I give us a fair chance. I really do. I think Liverpool, if you flip it to them, are they going to win the league easily and get to the Champions League final? Slots first season. Are they going to win the FA Cup as well? Win the treble?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably. Probably will. No, but we know those things just don't. They don't.
Yeah, it's not simple as saying that. Yeah, like the best team always wins. Of course, they don't.
Liverpool. I know they made changes, but they lost to Plymouth the other week, and that's not to say they're a bad side. Obviously not. But
why do you bring it up then?
I don't know. I think I think there's still some shocks to happen in this.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think we can cause. It definitely would be an upset. Liverpool have how many places in front of us in the Premier League at the moment. They obviously beat us at Anfield, but I do think we were unlucky. I think there was a couple of penalty shouts away. Yeah, and they had 2 great chances, scored 1 from a corner. So we were kind of it was our own downfall, really. And in the home leg, if we can take them back to Villa Park and have it either level or, if kind of worst case scenario, really 1 goal down, then why can't we beat them?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying.
No, but don't get me wrong. I think it's definitely more likely that they beat us. But I'm going to put us to go through, not just to make this a more entertaining podcast, but genuinely, I do feel like we can beat them over 2 legs, mainly or even only because we have the second leg at home. If the second leg was at Anfield, I wouldn't give us much chance.
For this video specifically as an Aston Villa podcast, to back them to the Champions League semi-final in our first attempt is, that's good for us. So yes, please.
When you say like that, it's a bit crazy.
Imagine if this podcast goes out over the weekend and we've just lost to Cardiff and we're giggling about the semi-final of the Champions League.
I'll be wearing different. We'll be wearing different clothes. The sun will be out.
Oh God! Right. So Villa to progress to the semi-finals. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Barcelona Lille is the next quarter-final. I've got Barcelona going basically all the way. Spoiler alert. I don't want to boil this down to like, plucky Lille getting this far, but coming up against Barcelona is where their journey ends for me.
Possibly. Again, I do think Lille would have a chance here, but I'll put Barcelona through as well because I'd be a bit insane to suggest otherwise. But again, Lille, I do think compete with pretty much
Of course,
anybody.
problems.
They
Yeah,
beat Real Madrid, didn't they? Really, put it this way: I think Lille could be the the dark horses to go as far as they like almost. But yeah, Barcelona, I think, will go through out of that.
Okay. And then the final quarterfinal is Inter versus Bayern Munich. I'll let you go first on this one.
Mate, it's Leverkusen, isn't it?
Good point. It is, yeah. Inter or Leverkusen for you. I'll let you go first.
Inter for me. Again, yeah. Solid.
I've done the same. I've also gone Inter. So our differential of the round of 16 games being the German clubs, I've still had them. I've still got Bayern Munich losing in the quarters to Inter. They're a little bit of a, I don't want to say dark horse because that underrates them, but I think most people would go against Inter, I think, for not being as much of a superpower as the likes of a Bayern Munich traditionally. But this season, specifically in the Champions League, they are doing, well, they've done so well that...
Very hard to beat.
Very hard to beat and can basically come up against anybody and kill them. So I've got Inter going through to the semis as well. Semi-finals then, I've got Real Madrid versus Liverpool.
Can you list them? I want to hear them. Rattle them off.
Okay, so on my semi-finals, I've got Real Madrid versus Liverpool and Barcelona versus Inter. What? On your semi-finals, you have Barcelona versus Inter and Real Madrid versus Aston Villa. it's insane.
It's insane, but it can happen.
We'll save the Villa one. We'll save the potential Villa one for a sec. Barcelona Inter as a semi is tasty. And I've got these graphics all the way through for the YouTube version of the club badges. And something about Barcelona Inter just looks right for a European semi-final. I've got Barcelona beating them. I've got Inter going out of the semis.
Yeah, so I'd go with the same. Again, Barcelona's firepower got a bit of a feeling for them in this competition. So, yeah, I will agree with you on that one. Inter, for as well as they can defend, they obviously don't score too many goals. So I think Barcelona would be able to open them up a little bit. Barcelona into the final for me as well. My
semi-final, Real Madrid versus Liverpool. I've got Madrid going through, and I expect, spoiler alert, you will as well, despite how far you've taken Villa. Madrid-Liverpool is a tasty tie regardless, but as a semi-final to then play potentially Barcelona in the final, I feel like that's too much of a carrot for Barcelona. To have an El Clasico final is very exciting. I've got Madrid beating Liverpool in that. Flip that and Liverpool beat Madrid and Inter beat Barcelona even. I wouldn't be massively surprised.
I think you're... and mine, the semi-finals are finally poised, both of them. I think either side could really get through there because it's over two legs. We should probably know this, but Liverpool, I presume, would play at Anfield second against Real Madrid. Yeah,
I think
they would because we do. So that would be a massive boost for them. Again, I'd almost fancy them to go through to the final then if that was the case. So your final is Barcelona-Madrid.
Yeah, you've got Madrid-Villa as your semi. Is this where Villa exit the tournament?
Yeah, I've got Barca and Madrid in the final as well. And
I couldn't see past that. Whatever combination I did there, unless I was just doing it purposefully wrong, I always had Barcelona and Real Madrid finding their way to the final.
Yeah, I think it's just most likely, but and you'll probably think the same. I wouldn't be shocked if anything, like if Lille, not Barcelona. I just don't know. It's I do think it's quite open this season. Yeah, I think Villa would be maybe going a step too far to beat Madrid over two legs. I just think
Villa Park in the second leg though, John. You never know.
I know, but they can just blow a team away by 5 goals in 20 minutes, couldn't they? The star power they've got is insane.
I wonder what the shelf life of this video is that comes out a couple of days before the Bruges first leg, that if we get pumped away in Belgium, all of this is totally irrelevant 48 hours later. If we are to win Tuesday and then in the following second leg, then this video could still be relevant. Maybe we're reading the future and getting every single result correct. And we are talking about semi-finals for real, not just a hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, what I would say, just to kind of balance it out, I'm not predicting Villa to go to the final or anything, but I do think we need to kind of give ourselves justice a little bit of if we both, genuinely thought we were going to get knocked out in the round of 16 or the quarterfinals to Liverpool, then that's fair enough. But I don't know about you, I definitely feel that we would have a really good chance of getting to the quarters if we can just get a result at Anfield.
Yeah.
Obviously, we need to get through Bruges as well. But I think it would be kind of, I don't know, disingenuous if we just said, I think we'll lose to Liverpool, and now it's that. I think we've got a fighter's chance, and if we do, then you've got a Real Madrid semi-final, and that's like an incredible prospect. So it is still exciting, even though, we could get knocked out to Bruges straight away. I do think there's still a course for us to run in this competition still, I think. I don't think we're kind of hanging on at the end now. And if we get through Bruges, then Liverpool will beat us over 2 legs in both games or whatever. I just think we'll still be able to compete and kind of do ourselves proud still. And if we do, we've got every chance of getting to a semi-final. So
bring it on. We'll call it a day there for this video.
Hold on. Who's winning?
Don't care, really. Doesn't matter, does it?
We'll call it a day there. Villa aren't winning it.
Well, I don't really care, to be
Are you going to watch
honest.
the final?
I don't know, I just can't see past
Barcelona
for
for me.
this tournament.
Really?
Okay, there we go.
I'm saying Barcelona. I've watched a couple of El Clásicos this season and I've been blitzed by Yamal and other players that they have and Lewandowski. So, yeah, I think Barcelona would do them in a final. They seem to have the number.
Yeah, well, Real Madrid own one then, don't they?
yeah, you can say that.
Well, we'll call it a day there, John.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me on this one. Obviously, we played Cardiff on Friday night and did a post-match show for that. Hopefully, we won. Otherwise, all this laughing and joking around probably won't go down well. But let us know in the comment section on YouTube or Spotify your thoughts on how the Champions League will unfold and your winners of each stage as well. We'll be back on Sunday evening or Monday for a Q&A and then the Bruges post-match on Tuesday as well. So do join us then if you can. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Claret Podcast, and we'll see you soon.